Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. So I'm super pumped for today because I'm going to be sharing with you all my top 10 of favorite fall eyeshadow palettes. So if you like indie brands, eyeshadow palettes, then please make sure you are subscribed before leaving today. And with that being said, let's jump into it. First, I wanted to do a little disclaimer. Some of these palettes are actually no longer available, but this is my personal grouping of my favorite fall palettes. So I had to include them because they're literally my top faves. So with that being said, let's dive into the palette that I have on my eyes today, and this one is brand spanking new. This was sent to me in PR from Unearthly Cosmetics. I literally can't even believe I just said that. This is a Fairy Frolic palette, and guys, this color story is so pretty. I have all these shades on my eyes today. That's how I just love this palette, and it's just my first use, so just wanted to note that. But I know without a doubt this is going to be a new favorite for me. I love it. And the shimmers, they're more traditional, but they're still absolutely beautiful. And I did also want to show y'all Unearthly. I love how they also include these little boxes with their palettes. Such a nice touch. You can store things in it or just like keep your palette. I thought that was super cute, so I did want to point that out. But this palette, I've had my eye on it for quite some time, and I finally got it, and I'm super excited that they sent this over because they have sales very frequently on their website, and I have almost picked this up so many times. But I do want to pick up Leather and Lace and the Don't Be Jelly. Oh, I think I do need to pick those two up. So next I want, by the way, this is not a ranking, this is just me grabbing all these palettes. Okay, next I wanted to point out this one. This is Cosmic Brushes Muse palette, and I would say that this is like the perfect neutral girl's favorite fall palette. Like, you get so many beautiful looks out of this. Fall, everyday, grungy, anything you want, you can get it out of this palette, and I think that the formula is so beautiful. Out of all the palettes that I'm going to talk about today, I think this is the one that's most like budget friendly, and I would recommend to you all just because I think you would get a lot of use out of it, and it's luxe, I'm telling you. It's so beautiful as well. I absolutely love this palette, and I cannot wait to continue to just get so much more use out of it during the next few months. Typically grungy palettes, fall palettes in a way, those are the palettes that I'm reaching for year round, but I get to, highlight them in videos like this. But yeah, I do reach for these palettes year round, but the next few months, it's, where other people like to reach for them too. Next, I want to talk about a palette that literally screams fall. It's like fall threw up. Here you go. This one is from Nomad. They really went for it. This is the Hudson Valley palette, and they nailed fall. This is fall in an eyeshadow palette, and I love that they really went for it, and they gave us fall. I think it's so beautiful. I love you get more warm tones with the cool tones. The shimmers in here are super pretty. Typically with this palette, I'll use the mattes and the shimmer, but I'll pop on like an indie single shimmer for some extra like shift in a way. I love this palette, and I think it is so beautiful. So this palette, definitely, it's one of the palettes that I would say that inspired today's video, just because, I mean, you don't even have to see the inside and you're like, okay, that's going to be a fall palette. Definitely really enjoy that palette, and I haven't reached for it in quite a while, so I'm excited to reach for that one more the next few months. So this one right here, this is the Druid palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. I have the like old packaging. This one's not magnetic, but they actually just restocked this palette with beautiful new packaging, and the pans are actually magnetic now. I have the old one, but this palette, it was love at first sight, kind of like Fairy Frolic. I used this one time and I was like, what is up with this brand? I need all of their palettes. I love the shimmers in here. They're very sparkly. Some of them have a shift to it. They're very pigmented. The mattes in here are beautiful. I love it. It's very unique to my collection. I love these tones. Next, I wanted to mention the Yucca palette from Natasha Denona. I love the packaging, but this is her midi palette, and this one right here, you don't get much versatility, but what you see is what you get, and I love what you get. I love the look I create every time. It's a beautiful wearable green, or you could definitely, go out of your comfort zone with some, or make it very bold and pop in with these greens in here. I love how there's neutrals but fun tones in here. I love the grungy vibes. The shimmers can be very repetitive, but repetitive in a beautiful way, so this one right here, oh, it's so pretty. This is like I said earlier, these are palettes that I wear year round, but this is one where I reach for it on a weekly basis because I just love it that much. The next two, they're from Melt Cosmetics, guys. I discovered Melt for the first time this year, maybe very end of last year, but the reason why I picked these up, they had a really nice, I think it was like a 40% off site-wide sale, and I was like, alright, what is Melt all about? But something I noticed about the brand, they have a very unique undertones with like their mattes. Their shimmers are fine, nothing to like rave about, but the mattes are very beautiful, and I just love the color selections that they come up with. I don't know, I think they're very beautiful. So definitely one that I fell in love with, these beautiful grungy tones, and I normally pop in like a single shadow on top. And then this one is the Gemini palette. Everyone loves this one. This is pretty much greens, grungy vibes, sweet neutral tones, all in one palette. Everyone can wear this palette. It's very beautiful. I don't recommend Melt at the full price, just because it's silly to buy these palettes for full price, because within a few months they're going to go on sale. I definitely recommend them on a sale unless you are like shimmer lover, you want the sparkly shifty shimmers, because then you would be very disappointed. But if you just like the packaging, color stories, I definitely recommend these palettes on sale, because the mattes are just... they're so pretty, and I'm excited to see what Melt has in the future for us, because I think they're gonna just really get us excited with the I think like the Halloween or maybe holiday launches. I'm excited to see what they come up with. So next is the infamous Subculture. I actually used this palette yesterday, and it it still performs amazing. Very unpopular opinion, I love this bad boy right here. I always say I think it launched before its time, because if this had come out today, I think we would have all lost our minds about it. But I'm super excited about their new fall palette. It looks so beautiful. It's kind of like neutrals meets green grungies with some purple tones. Give me a brown, green, purple theme palette and you're gonna have my heart. So yeah, I love this. I can never get rid of it. It's beautiful. And probably another unpopular opinion, I miss this packaging and I miss the small pans. Anyways, I still love it, and it's just something about it that inspires me to reach for it. And my palette, I like the quality. What can I say? The next two, along with Subculture, you can't get them anymore. They have been discontinued. I'm going to save my absolute favorite for last as far as like fall theme goes. But this one is from Adept Cosmetics. This is the Heather Austin palette, and the mattes in here, like these four, they just tie in the fall tones for me so well. And then the beautiful shimmers that you can pair, I mean, they're just... I love this palette. Y'all already know that, but the mattes in here really make it a fall palette. Well, year-round palette, you know, but definitely just capture fall for me personally. And the shimmers, sparkly, shifty. Y'all know how Adept rolls. And then the last palette, that's my favorite fall palette. This is actually from Glaminatrix. This is the Nocturnal palette. These tones are so beautiful. Now, I would say this doesn't scream fall like the Nomad palette, but there's something about fall where I think it is just so grungy and beautiful, and I don't necessarily always want a palette like this. I love this palette right here. It's so beautiful, unique in a way. I love the mattes in here. The shimmers are fine. Some of them are shifty. So far, this palette has been unbeat. It's just my favorite fall palette. I will say that the Fairy Frolic is really... I fell in love with this one really quick, but there's something about Glaminatrix palettes that they have such a unique color story always. I really do like their take on palettes, and they always kill it with the formula. So those are my top 10, like my personal favorites. I have so many fall palettes in my collection, but those are just the top 10 where I reach for them year round. Other than this one, I need to reach for this one more. It's just so fall. I feel very secluded, and like I have to only reach for it during these months, but that's so silly. Reach for palettes whenever you want. But I would love to hear down below your favorite fall palettes. I'm super excited for this time of the year. I love the grungy tones, the fall vibes, cozy vibes, all of that. It really inspires me to play with makeup more and go out of my comfort zone. I feel like year round, other than fall, I can get kind of comfortable and want to reach for like the same neutral palettes. But during these next few months, I get really invested in my makeup and very inspired to play with color stories that I normally wouldn't reach for. So yeah, with that being said, I need to hear your favorites, and I'm so excited for the upcoming launches, the fall launches, spooky themed holiday palettes. It's just like my time of the year, because like I said, these are the color stories that I reach for year round, and so for that reason, the next few months I typically splurge more on colors on palettes, because I like the color stories more than, like, let's say a summer themed palette with super bold pop-in shades. They don't really get me going, but fall palettes, they have my heart. So with that being said, that's going to do it for today's video. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're doing well. I hope that you are healthy, happy, and safe. Stay beautiful. Bye, guys.